Okay. Assalamualaikum and good day to Prof. Chia and our beloved friends. We are from Group 6 going to review the article of the title Predicting Customer Online Shopping Adoption and Evaluation of Data Mining and Market Modeling Approaches. Next. Okay, this one. Firstly, this is the screenshot proof of our group meeting. Next. Okay, this is the table of content. Next. Okay, so now I am going to brief on the introduction of this article. Marketers are facing a new challenge, which is to analyze the diversity of behavioral effects of customers due to the continuous development of the internet. Customers nowadays using different information and channels before purchasing a product. For example, some customers search for information and purchase online. Others search online but purchase in conventional stores. And also there's others that did not use the internet for shopping at all. Next. With that, two approaches are used to gather the informations: marketing modeling and data mining. For marketing modeling, it provides the elaboration on the effect and correlation of independent variables upon class membership within a priori defined models by emphasizing on descriptive and normative modeling. For data mining, it is from computational intelligence such as natural network (NNS) are convinced in facilitating predictive accuracy and attractive features by recognizing novel relationship directly from the presented data. Data mining, DM has also developed practice that is significantly different from the established practices in market modeling, such as multinomial logistic regression, MLR. Next. Okay, due to the differences of best practices used in marketing modeling and DM, this article will be studying two prominent domains, which is MLR, multinomial logistic regression, and NN, neural networks, in order to evaluate the impact of alternative resampling scheme and the imbalance classification versus rebalance classification through oversampling of these two methods. Next, we proceed to the next contents presented by Lisa.
Okay, thank you, Asma. So now I will be presenting about the modeling customer online shopping behavior for data mining. So as Asma has said just now, the increasing use of the internet has made online shopping to become more popular, and marketers felt the urge to analyze the shopping behavior of consumers. So in this research, three groups of consumers were detected regarding online shopping. The first one, they search, browse for price and product information, and then they buy the products online using the internet. The second group search for product information online, but they buy the products in store. And the third group is the consumers that doesn't involve internet at all during their shopping process. So researchers mentioned that predicting the probability of an online customer to buy a product in the browsing stage can lead to the customized online purchasing processes, where consumers are likely to browse the products that have additional information, and they will take some incentives to decrease the risk while online shopping. So when researchers predict probability during the browsing stage, this will increase the market share and sales revenue. Next. Okay, so in this research, two domains that are modeling for random probability distribution of consumer behavior are marketing modeling and data mining. For marketing modeling, they build models that are formalized and quantitative, and it is originally derived from management science and operational research to support their marketing decisions, while data mining step into the significant process of knowledge discovery in data to identify novel, valid, useful, and understandable patterns in data. Next, marketing modeling focuses on normative and descriptive models that describe processes and decisions of consumer behavior, such as internet shopping behavior, while data mining focuses on predictive modeling, as they often apply purely data-driven methods from computational intelligence on same datasets as MM. So in MM research, the approaches of rebalancing target value distributions are not evaluated, while for DM, the datasets with imbalanced target value distributions will be rebalanced first, and the ordinal and nominal variables will be recorded in a specific manner. So overall, DM and MM use totally different methods, but they apply the same quantitative data and statistical methods to obtain the models of consumer behavior, and this will lead to different results of predictive accuracy. Both domains also use different sampling and coding schemes of variables for explanatory value or predictive accuracy. So next presenter is AYUNI.
Thank you, Lisa. Next, I will talk about predictive classification methods used in this study, which are multinomial logic regression, MLR, and multilayer perceptrons, MLPs. Multinomial logic regression, or we call as MLR, is known as one of the methods that able to classify individuals or sometimes different kinds of domains, such as market, modeling, and marketing. Thus, in this study, the researcher assumed that every consumer will choose the result that will maximize utility, which each individual derived from independent variables and a vector of components. The characteristics defined in the vector are explained such as income, age, gender, and information on how the individual views the choices chosen. Here are a few equations that have been made based on the assumptions of the researchers. Next. Next is multi-layer perceptrons, or we call it as MLPs. MLPs has been non-used for classification and performing a feed-forward, control, and hetero-associative paradigm, which represent an important class of neural networks. It is also known to consist of a few layers of nodes that are fully interconnected, where each node output calculates a change with linear in combination of its output, as we can see from the picture. Therefore, MLPs has been chosen to be one of the methods since it has the ability to approach any complex decision boundary to divide the input space arbitrarily given a sufficient number of hidden units. Next, I will pass to NURAIN.
Thank you, Yuni. So now I'm going to present on the experimental analysis. Next. Yes, so in experimental analysis, it must have a data description and also analysis. So a survey was conducted from 5500 UK household to model choice of online shopping channels by using 685 internet users as a sample data. The survey questions obtained from the previous research. So the research shows that the choice of channels controlled by product wanted by the consumer. And then it also shows that product where touching and inspection needed is unlikely to be bought online. And then search internet for product for electronic devices, books, CDs, and software. The consumer commonly search internet for the product info, test in store prior to online buying. Additionally, the research also shows that acceptance and integration of technology in one's habits and lifestyle encourage online activities suggested by TAM. In total, there are 73 questions on factors related to product, online shopping, and socio-demographic. So these are the questions that is related to behavioral perception on the internet shopping specific factors in ordinary scale and product specific factors in binary scale. So for ordinary scale, for the internet shopping specific factors, okay, they are namely divided into brand, where I would buy online if products are branded. OSC, which are internet shopping is very convenient. OSGs, going to the shop is as convenient as internet shopping. For binary scale, it was namely pre-CD for CDs, PGR for grocery, pre-CL for clothes, pre-TR for travel arrangement. And also, the individual information in the questions are labeled as age, ANINC for annual income, and gender for gender, and 1 male, 0 for female. So the product specific factors is to indicate the perceived risk or preference to shop for specific products, while individual information is to control for the impact of socio-demographic effects. Next. So these are the dependent variables used in this experiment. There are 3 classes of dependent variables. Y1 for consumers use internet to look for information and buy it online. Y2 is for consumers that use internet to look for information but buy in store. Y3 is for consumers that does not use internet at all. Next. Okay, the second component of experimental analysis is data sampling. So it was divided into dataset and classes distribution of the datasets. There are 2 datasets that were created where dataset A represents the class membership and balance distribution, while dataset B represents the rebalance equal number of instances in each class. So these are the figure of the dataset A, the imbalance, and the dataset B, the rebalance distribution. And then for the classes distribution of the dataset, both datasets are divided into 50% training, 25% validation, and 25% sample evaluation. For dataset A, instances sample according to the distribution in original dataset, which are 65%, 25.5%, and 25.5%. Therefore, to create dataset B for the balance of depending variable, it was rebalanced by duplicate the records from classes 2 and 3 randomly until equivalent amount of instances in classes 1. So it will result in equal class distribution. And then the data will be split into 3 databases for training, validation, and test. For training, validation, and test, so it will result in equal number of instances. So these are the table where it shows it is split into 3 databases and the percentage of the dataset. Next. Okay, the last component of experimental analysis is the data processing. So data processing recommended MLPs for the data pre-processing through ordinal and nominal input and output vectors rescaling to encourage learning. And then it normalized the data in order to prevent computational problems, to meet algorithm requirements and facilitate network learning. And then the data processing also refrained from rescaling and uses ordinal variables during learning to allow direct comparison of experiment with MLRs, with better practices in market modeling. Next, I'm going to pass to Safa.
Thank you, NURAIN. So I'll proceed with a simulation experiment, which include the logistic regression experiment and also MMP experiment. So for experimental setup, there are 2 experimental setup, which is logistic regression and MLP. For logistic regression experimental setup, the transform likelihood function was applied in the estimation of MLR model to demonstrate the log likelihood method, as it consists of identification of coefficient which will optimize the MLR's log likelihood function. Besides, Newton method will be used to estimate the parameters that maximize the likelihood function using the software LIMDEP A. In the MLR model measurement, 3 class membership outcomes will be predicted. In order to determine the class membership, the coefficients that are connected to the probability of an outcome will be used. So next is MLP experimental setup. Candidate set of 10 and n topologies were assessed using 11 nodes in the input layer, which constitute the input variables, and 3 output nodes in the identification of individual class membership, specifying each network topology as 11 and 3. Each topology was assessed by two activation function.
which is hyperbolic tangent, tan H, and a logistic function. Each NN will be trained with delta bar delta learning rule for each weight, and each topologist network weight will begin with a random starting weight for 10 times. After no improvement of the validation error, a stopping mechanism will be applied to abort the learning. So this is the experimental result. Consumer shopping behavior will be predicted using MNR versus NN across two data sets A and B of imbalance and rebalance classification. Individual classification rate of each predicted class versus the true class membership across training and test set for the MNR and the best NN topology were shown in this table. Both MNR and NN topology failed to separate all the three classes due to the imbalance classification. The NN outperforms the MNR with an MCR on the test set of 52.1% versus 48.9%, predicting classes 1 and 3 with higher accuracy than MNR. Despite NN is considered as superior in the prediction of class membership for imbalance classification. From this table, the dataset B was rebalanced to increase the predictive accuracy. Both methods show the ability to separate all the three classes after the rebalance of the dataset. The accuracy of the MNR increased from 48.9% to 54.4% MCR, showing a valid and reliable prediction of all three classes significantly larger than 33.3% by chance. And also showed the improvement in the separation of all classes from 52.1% to 57.57% MCR.
Sorry, Asma, you don't you don't you unmute first.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm going to continue. In conclusion, from the analyzation of predictive performance of MLR and NN, the result obtained is that all pre-processing schemes and across all classes of consumer behavior are set to excel in NN than MLR. Both MLR and NN gain benefits from rebalancing imbalanced datasets to increase correct classification of unseen instances. This demonstrates that in order to excel at predictive tasks, the potential for models and methods routinely applied in marketing modeling to draw upon the expertise is gathered in DM. Next. So in this article ends with some suggestion for further studies of this topic. First, the changes in sign and impact together with statistically significant is needed because the coefficient of MLR model can be altered if the class distribution is adjusted. Furthermore, in order to decrease the non-linearity effect for further extending use of data mining method to marketing, it is suggested that NN should be trained directly upon raw questionnaire data. Besides, it is suggested for further studies to extend the evaluation using uncompressed data of the correlated variables used to derive the factor score of internet utility and omitting preceding linear transformation of variables. Next, further studies should include additional discrepancies between data mining and market modeling practices, such as rescaling of ordinal variable for binary input vectors as recommended for NN. In addition, further studies should solve the issues of multiple classification and make it into two consecutive binary classification. Okay, next is the references for this article. And that's all from group 6. Thank you. One, two, three. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.